Hello, I'm Erik Hunter. Welcome back to the 4th season of Behind the Curtain, my unfortunate final season as your host. But that's just the beautiful inevitability of life. Much like the 4th season of the year brings the death of the green adorning the wood, I too must face the same fate as my volunteer hosting career makes its inevitable descent from the Behind the Curtain tree. But until then, we're going to continue to showcase student productions, whether it be a short film for class, a personal project, or even a feature film. So today we'll be sitting down with director Tristan Reed to discuss his film Black Sphere. This sci-fi comedy follows a dispirited young man as his grieving over a personal tragedy is interrupted when he's tasked with helping an extraterrestrial find his way home. So let's take a look, and then afterwards we'll sit down with director Tristan Reed.
Hello? Hi.
Welcome back. I'm here with Tristan Reed, director of Black Sphere. Thanks for being on the show, Tristan.
Absolutely,
it's great
brother.
to have you here.
Yeah.
So Black Sphere, it's the first time we've ever had a submission on Behind the Curtain that has not been released yet. All we've shown is the trailer so far. So I don't know how much you want us to talk about. Are we allowed to spoil things, or can I pry on certain questions?
Pry. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Let's pry. Let's
cool.
pry. Yeah.
I worked on this with you for one day.
Yeah.
And then I gave up on the project. We won't talk about that. But I don't know a whole lot about this. I've seen the trailer. I helped you with it for one day, but I noticed it kind of follows the trope of helping an alien get back home, but it's a spin on it. It's funny.
Yeah.
And I want to know, did you take inspiration from a certain movie for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of inspiration for this movie. Obviously, like on the surface, you can look at E.T. That's obviously a big one because, that movie is about a kid helping an alien find a spaceship, getting home. But like you said, there is a spin on it. There's a lot more uniqueness to it. I don't know if that's a word to use, but so think of like E.T. mixed with Donnie Darko. There's something else going on. Maybe what we're seeing isn't just a kid helping an alien find a spaceship. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's like a spin on that trope, but it's got layers.
It's got layers.
Like an onion.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It makes you cry when you pull it back.
That's good.
See?
That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
So I'm curious. This is your thesis film. You're a BFA student.
Yeah.
What's the process like for viewers who may want to pursue that type of degree?
Yeah. So the BFA thesis process, it's quite hefty. I'm still currently working on this film in post-production. What we just saw, what we will see, that's a teaser, right? So that's just a little bit of the movie, but we started filming in the fall semester of my senior year, and now I'm in the spring semester of my senior year, and we're still working on post-production. So it does take a long time. For other people, it might be a shorter amount of time. It may not be as much of a grind, but I think what I found out was, making a movie takes a lot longer when you're trying to make it like look professional, make it look as great as it can be, and also too, like, there's just other priorities in your life that you have to worry about. So like those are the kind of things that make this whole process take a little bit longer. But yeah, it started with classical pre-production, writing for a while, pitching, all that kind of stuff, and then filming, I think, for about a month, a little over a month, and now, you know, winter break happened and took a break, stepped away from old Yazoo for a while,
Right.
and then now we're deep in post-production, getting some music going. CGI is getting finished. That's some
Nice.
crazy stuff right there, and yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he said a name that sounds foreign. Yazoo. It's the name of the alien in the movie. We're
Yeah.
getting into lore here.
Yeah, this is lore. This is lore.
Where'd the inspiration for that name come from?
You know, I could say that it just came from like the genius of my mind, but
Yeah.
what if I just told you it was a random alien name generator on,
Nice.
on the
Nice.
internet?
Yazoo. That's a good one.
It was good. You know, there were a lot where I just like it had like symbols in it, and I'm like, this is not human language.
Right.
I don't know how
would
to
I
say
pronounce
this.
that? Okay.
So, and you know, like Star Wars, Yoda, Yazoo,
Right.
it's still got that twang.
It
got
does.
the iconic.
It's
twang,
got that
so.
extraterrestrial twang.
Yeah, it
which is
does.
exactly what you need. So you said there was quite a grind with you know this thesis project because you wanted to look good, you wanted to look professional. Are you allotted a budget for this? Do you get funding from some specific entity or
Some entity, yes.
yeah, or
So,
do you have to pay out of pocket?
well, no, we definitely get a budget, right?
Okay.
So I actually got money from 2 different entities, right? So it was a total of $3,000.
Okay.
And, you know, I think for a lot of people, a low budget for a film might be scary, but, you know, if this is something that you really want to do, you just gotta take what you got, and you just gotta keep moving forward, right? And, you know, as filmmakers, as someone who has been in films, like sometimes we have 0, maybe even negative. Maybe we owe money, right?
Right.
And you know, we just keep going and we just make something cool. So yeah.
Well, it looks. I can't wait for the final product. It looks like a really cool film. You mentioned CGI. That's crazy. I didn't know there was going to be any of that.
Yeah, it's wild actually.
But tell me about specific issues you had on set, because I was there on set for one day, just one, so I didn't really get a feel for it. I showed up, I had a brand new mustache. I was really excited. Noticed he had one too, and I had to leave after that. But I saw that you are Yazoo. You play Yazoo. You had the whole getup on.
I do.
He was just buried in latex the whole time I was there.
It was, yeah.
And how was that? How was directing underneath so much latex like?
Yeah, okay, so acting and directing in a more professional setting is something that I have never done before. You know, like growing up making films in high school, I was like, okay, this is like my film project, but I'm also in the movie, but I'm gonna die first so that I can just direct the rest of the movie, right? Because like, you know, part of a school project is, all right, everyone needs to like be in the movie, like participate. Right. I'm like, okay, my German teacher, I'm gonna kill my character off and just direct the rest of the thing. But this was way different. Certain things happened before we started shooting, and it kind of got to the point where I think it was like maybe like 2 or 3 hours before that first shoot day with Yazoo and with, you know, Anna Mercado's character and Ryan Yauger's character. I just kind of sat there. I'm like, okay, no one's playing this alien character, and I just kind of sat there. I was very stressed out. I'm like, guess it's gonna be me. Okay. So then, yeah, and just to go on like the whole, you know, directing while acting, especially in this silicone latex makeup, it was very, very difficult because I always kind of thought that I was making everyone else who was working on the movie make the movie for me. But I just wanted to kind of get out of that mindset. I knew that I was communicating what I wanted, and I just had to sit back and make sure that I was doing the best thing for the character, and that was, you know, being a alien character who is fascinated by Three Stooges. Right. So
it was fascinating to watch you act and also direct underneath all that silicone the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, and it was impressive, and it's cool that I didn't know this whole time that you didn't write that role for yourself.
No.
You just on the fly.
It was never meant for me. But I will say too, I think playing that character and also like directing the entire movie kind of helped like relieve some extra stress, because like I was directing myself internally. So like if we did a certain take I didn't like that, I didn't have to like walk up to an extra person and be like, hey, like let's do it this way. Like I knew exactly what had to be done. So I think that was a little bit easier. So yeah.
And where did you would you come across this mask? Did you have it? Seemed custom made because it had like a whole mouthpiece. It it had like a built-in gag. It was.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hot in there too.
I bet, yeah. But yeah, how'd you get that?
Yeah, so it's not like custom made for the movie, but it is from a company called Immortal Masks out in California.
Okay.
And they make like Hollywood level practical masks as you've seen, right? But I came across this company when I made my first short horror film, actually. It was called Behind You. And I think I made it sophomore year during COVID with like $200 from like a little crowdfund thing and like my DSLR Sony.
Nice.
But I was able to get a mask from that company, and my dad, he actually bought the mask for me because I was trying to get a scholarship for this movie, and then the scholarship didn't happen because of COVID. So my dad's like, hey, I got this mask for you. Go make this movie. I'm like, let's go. This is going to be great.
Cool.
So yeah, that's when I first found out about that company, and I just, I think a year before this program started, I've been eyeing that mask for every day.
That's
just
cool.
Looking at it, yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, it's very hyper realistic, which means it looks disgusting, but it also looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome piece of craftsmanship. But moving on from that, how was the casting process for this film? Because I feel like it would be difficult to find a student actor who's available who could play so well off of somebody who looks like, that. Like Yazoo. Because it's hard to play off something that doesn't have normal human facial expressions and things of that nature. So
you know what? I'm glad you asked that question because the casting was probably the easiest thing about this entire process. We worked in P460 on that one horror film in the summer, and we had Ryan and we had Ben Sanchez, and as I was writing this, I just had them in mind the entire time. And I hear a lot of things like don't ever write with someone in mind because that'll kind of kill the script and the character. But I did anyway, and everything worked out. So I didn't really have like auditions, except for Yazoo. But then like obviously complications happened and that didn't work out. But I didn't have auditions for like Tyler or the antagonist Mason or Ava's character, which is played by Anna. So yeah, it was easy, and I just went to all three of them, and I'm like, hey, this is you.
Nice.
Like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that it all kind of just fell together.
Yeah.
So that was the easiest part. What do you think was your favorite part of the whole creative process behind Black Sphere?
I mean, I think after the first day, I was definitely attracted to like playing the alien. Like that was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my entire life. And now I think because of this movie, I have a new love for being on screen and like acting and stuff. I'm not saying I'm like the greatest actor ever. I think I'm actually like, quite terrible, but I like that.
Yeah.
I can't really put it into words, but I think, I don't know. I think I would like to play creatures, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I got like a weird frame. I slouch a lot. I'm skinny and lanky. I'm like, why can't
perfect
I play
creature build?
It's a perfect creature build, And why can't I play like a demon or like another creature at some point? That'd be really fun.
If you could play one creature, one type of, you can make it up now, or you can, I don't know, allude to something else. What would you play? Like a deer that walks on its
skinwalker,
legs.
yeah, a skinwalker.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Skinwalker, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So besides, acting and directing inside this alien costume, what were some of the biggest challenges you had on set, and how'd you get past that?
Well, I think just trying to communicate my ideas, like generally, making sure that everyone was seeing what I saw, even though like it wasn't in front of them. And like that's just like a big like directing thing that I have learned over the many short films.
It's difficult to communicate as a director.
It is.
Especially
It's
through a silicone gag.
Yeah, when you're muffled. Oh my gosh. I mean I know you just said like other than the mask and the alien, but like I remember multiple times I'd be like, like, let's do this over here, and I'm like. I just kind of stare at everyone, and everyone's staring back at me, and I'm like, they have no idea what I just said. Like, none.
Who is that?
Who's this guy? But there were a lot of like specific things that happened. Like, I remember one weekend we were gonna film at like the tailgate fields, and then it just snowed, And I was texting Morgan, right? Morgan's our DP.
Yeah.
And
He was on last episode.
was he?
Yeah, he smelled so.
Come on, Morgan.
Yeah, right?
Jeez. Anyway, I was like, hey man, like, we have this day scheduled. Like, can we film in the snow but like not show the snow? He goes, absolutely not. I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. Like, I hate you,
Right.
but he had the right idea, and he was like, just move it back, and it was things like that, and there were a lot of like roadblocks where I was kind of just like stressing.
Roadblocks.
Not Roblox.
Sorry.
Roblox is a great game though.
It is a good game.
It's a game engine too. Have you?
Really?
Yeah, do you know that? People make like Call of Duty in Roblox.
Apologies.
So
Anyway.
There are a lot of roadblocks.
Yeah.
Roadblocks. God damn it.
Apologies.
Eric, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like certain things that made me like super stressed out, and
What about those fingers? You had such long fingers to work with. Were those a hassle?
those were definitely a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting those on and off, because they were we bought them from like a different Halloween store, like a costume store that had like long purple fingers, but our practical effects artist Brittany, she actually kind of like modified them in a way to make them less bad. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what are some of the biggest takeaways, I guess, lessons learned from working on the set of Black Sphere that you hope to build upon and use in other films, not specifically, comedy, sci-fi, but anything?
So, okay, I say all this knowing the fact that everything worked out, but I didn't do everything the way it should have been done, I think.
It's filmmaking.
Does anyone?
Rules are meant to be broken.
Definitely, you should not location scout like the day before. That's bad, but every time I did that, I was like, okay, this will work.
It's better than a day of.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, very true. When it comes to pre-production, especially if you're like doing something with like a lot of like effects and like practical effects and stuff like that, make sure those are things that are handled like way, way, way before. You don't want to, figure out that there's a problem the day of the shoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also too, I think making sure that this is kind of a weird thing to talk about with like the writing and like just the overall story of the movie, but I think as I was directing the movie, I didn't quite know what it was about. Like, I felt like I was kind of letting the story in the film take on its own meaning.
Yep.
And, I was doing like a lot of rewrites and stuff like that. And like that happens in movies, but I think when it comes to the writing, I was stressing a lot before we started shooting, but I think going forward, I'm just gonna like, if things need to be rewritten, just let it come,
I mean, you don't really truly know what your story is until you see your actors breathe life into it.
Right.
So,
it's like don't fight back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect takeaway.
Yeah.
Honestly, just kind of leaning into it and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, going with the flow is
Exactly.
key. Yeah.
Exactly. So, the film's not done yet. We've seen the trailer. We've showed the trailer. Potential release date, and where is it going to be screened?
So I think specifically for this program, the deadline is April 7th. So no later than April 7th, like this thing will be done.
Okay.
But for a premiere, I use cinema, right? Big boy theaters. Yeah.
Big boy theater.
We're looking early May.
Okay.
Early May of 2023. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to it. I'll be there. I have been longing to see Yazoo on the big screen. So
he's been longing for you too.
I know, man. I appreciate that. That's really cool.
What if you were just sitting there and like, I just like as Yazoo.
You showed up in costume.
I could do that. I could do it, but like, what if you were watching it? It's just like you.
I
like,
feel
in the
those
middle.
fingers caressing.
Yeah. The slimy texture.
Can you like? We'll talk after.
Okay.
So, any up and coming films? I know you're about to graduate, so any plans for specific films ideas after you graduate?
Yeah. I actually wasn't expecting you to ask this question, so thank you for this. But I'm actually currently writing a short film. Whenever I say I'm going to write a short film, it ends up being like 20, 30 pages. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
that's short.
40, 50,
Yeah.
60, and it just gets bigger. But I am currently writing a road horror movie right now, in a way. Kind of like coming of age. This is very much in like the early stages, right? Mm-hmm. But I am writing like a little road movie similar to Barbarian, Get Out in a way.
Okay.
So those kind of tones, and just kind of leaning on like this, resurgence of like crazy horror movies, like outlandish stuff. But my hope is to maybe pitch it to media school or any like surrounding production companies to make a big, attractive short film that can get into some pretty big film festivals. Yeah. And then also hopefully creating an opportunity to put recent grads in the media school in initial production positions where they can get paid, like get actually paid.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey,
that's
come get
cool.
some experience and eat some food. Like that's what you get. So yeah, I don't know what that's gonna look like. Like I said, early stages, but media school, I'm coming for you.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I look forward to seeing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think I learned as much as I could ever learn about Yazoo today. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Tristan,
Absolutely.
for being on the show.
My man.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you. And thank you for watching. As always, if you, a friend, a lover, or even just someone you know wants to be featured here on our show, you can refer to the link on screen now, or you can find it down in the description below. Alternatively, if you're interested in hosting Behind the Curtain after I either graduate or fail to graduate and disappear, you can express such interest within that same form. Until next time, I'm Erik Hunter, and this has been Behind the Curtain.